This is going to be going over the free-to-play setups for clearing all the stages in One Butterfly's Afterdream. There are some stages earlier that I'm not going over. Stage 2 and 3, it's the ones where you just have Rhianna and Luciella, and you just spam swap between them, and it's pretty simple. We're going to be going over Stage 7 normal and hard, and Stage 8 as instead. So, Stage 7 normal, we have Brig, Commander Rhianna, Achades, and Xeno. Xeno is from the Hall of Trials shop. If you are in the situation where you somehow have 0 currency and you still haven't bought Xeno, then typically we have 1 off rotation for Hall of Trials and then 2 on. So you should have time to, on the last week, buy Xeno and then do this stage. He's very, very nice for this, and let's go over everybody's stats. So Brig, you can just give him like some bruiser gear. I do think you want a bit of damage on him. It's pretty nice to have for this stage. I just gave him Aureus, and then besides that, it doesn't really matter. The boss only has 50 of FRES, so you don't need to worry too much about that. Like 210 speed-ish is nice. And yeah, pretty basic Brig stuff. I do have him in the imprint circuit, but I don't have the node for Ignore 15% unlocked yet. If you do have that, then use it. It'll make your life a little bit easier. Next up, Commander Rhianna. It's just DPS Commander Rhianna, pretty much. This isn't geared super well, should be pretty achievable. I do have a bit of speed on this, just in case anybody's looking to copy. It might change some tuning stuff. And then a damage boosting artifact, as usual. So now for Xeno, anybody not familiar with him, you do need his S2 max to reduce the evasion by 50%. And then for his stats, they don't matter too much. I just have him base speed with some tank. This is what I use him with in Arena. It doesn't matter. You do probably want 50 effectiveness though, because his S3 can be useful to strip in some situations. And then besides that, we're just going to be using Tog Hells, because 20 souls free is nice to have. And then lastly, we have Achades. So for Achades, just give her like a decent bit of speed with some HP. It doesn't really matter too much. And then with Magaraha's Tome, if you don't have Achades, any sort of cleanser works fine here, really. So something like Angelic Montmorency would also be good. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the fight. So, started the fight. I always skip this turn because I keep on dual attacking with Commander Rhianna, it's kind of annoying. We're going to just S2, and then S1 this little guy. Every time this little guy is alive, you're going to want to kill him. He does very, very bad things if he is allowed to take a turn, so we're just going to kill him. Can be partially mitigated by just having Achades with 1 billion FRES. I don't think he ignores FRES, I actually did not check. But the boss does this stuff. We're going to use Xeno S3 plus Brig S3, and hopefully we land Death Break. If you want, you can just reset if you miss your Death Break, to be honest. It's still pretty early in the fight. So, besides that, let's just dump damage into the boss. It's pretty simple. We're going to use the KD skills on ourselves. So we brought Xeno here because the boss has 50% evasion, and, well, we want to hit the boss, but also the boss will counterattack and give itself attack buff if it, what is it? If it dodges. So that's why we have Xeno here, so it doesn't do that stuff to us. Boss also CR pushes every time it gets hit, so whenever you have useless turns, aka Xeno turns, you're going to want to hit this ad thing. So Brig is going to cut the ad. That's why I said you do kind of want some damage on Brig, just so you can 2-tap this little ad here with Brig. Like that will kill it again. What we got? Got a dual attack, so we'll just dump some more damage into the boss. One thing about Brieg is, remember that Brieg does cleanse when he fully procs his thing. So even if Brieg is blinded, you can just hit the ad, and then he'll cleanse his blind and then hit the boss. You don't want to hit the boss while blinded because of the whole counter-attack thing. We landed all of our stuff there, very nice. Kind of an unlucky dual attack because the boss does get CR push from that, but not a huge deal. And from here, the boss is pretty much dead, so we're just going to wait for Commander Lurianna to take her turn and kill it. So that's it for normal mode. So now for hard mode, the only change I'm making here is on Xeno, I gave him a little bit of speed. It's just speed main boots, and you probably honestly want like bruiser gear on him. And I would also recommend a couple other changes that I'm not going to do, but on Acades, if you can give her 150 FRES, maybe with her FRES EE, that would be useful, just because sometimes with like bad RNG you might need to tank the debuffs from the little dude, and that could be very useful. Also, you might want a better geared Commander Lurianna, because this is not very good. Why is she not plus 15? Ooh, we are going to enhance this. Yep, let's do that. That probably explains a lot of things that were happening to me during this fight. But yeah, besides that, the rest of the gear is the same as before in normal mode. So starting off, we're going to do the same thing as before. There is a slight RNG check here though, which is we have to make sure that we're able to kill this guy on the very first turn. There is a couple ways to do this. One is Brieg S1 or Xeno S1 dual attack with Commander Lurianna, or we're just going to hit him with S3 and kill him. And that is RNG because hit chance and evasion are two separate things. You're not guaranteed to hit him there. Once you pass that check, you're good to go though. As usual, make sure to not waste any hits onto the boss, because the boss does CR push when you hit her. And we're going to be playing this very, very slowly, because this is like the super scuffed free-to-play team, pretty much. Notably, the boss does not have any stacking mechanics. There's no like increased attack or increased speed every time you hit her, every time she takes a turn or anything. So we can play this as slowly as we need to, do the mechanics properly, and we'll, even with like bad RNG, you can just wait. Nothing bad will happen to you as long as you press your buttons correctly. Pretty much just keep on hitting the boss, get her down to about 50% HP, and start paying very close attention around 55. We're not going to use any soul burns. You'll notice that I'm not soul burning Commander Lurianna S3, and this is because we need to save it for the new mechanic, this thing here. Punishment, when the caster is 50% HP or less, a bunch of stuff happens. Basically, you have to hit this ad 6 times or you're going to die. It's not very pretty. And to hit it 6 times, it also like CR pushes up, kind of annoying, and it's invincible, so you can't like... You would expect that maybe, oh, we can like hit him and then CR like push him back. Nope. You just have to hit him 6 times. It's supposed to be an RNL thing, but Xeno has soul burn extra turn on his S1, so we can just kind of spam that. And I'm not sure if that's exactly what they were intending, but that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to S1 here, so we can hold the cleanse. I'm being extremely greedy right now, by the way. If your like Brieg isn't as tanky, you might want to put up the shield, because I'm just being really, really greedy about my death breaks. Every time your Brieg gets low like this though, just soul burn your Acades S1. And then now I'm gonna S2. And we're gonna go for the death break. Missed our speed down, kinda sucks. I should probably just hit this guy. I was trying to see if I could be greedy and like let him not get hit for now, but with 0 damage on my Xeno, probably wasn't a good idea. Otherwise I could have just Xeno S1, Brieg S1. But yeah, we're doing this. Oh my god, where's my speed down? We're doing this very, very slowly, just because we want to save up all these souls anyways. Ooh, her S3 was up. I should have used that. Get some damage in. Be careful with dual attacks, by the way. Commander Rhianna's death break chance is very, very high. So you don't want to accidentally hit the boss or anything like that. Like that. Wow. Unlucky. You can see what I mean, like, even with bad RNG, it doesn't matter. You can just, like, let it cycle again. The boss isn't going to do any more damage than it was before. This dude is up. Let's put him back to sleep. And how are we gonna play this? Let's death break her. So I'm actually gonna hit the boss directly here. This is just a CR push her past the Hades. Oh Jesus, this is what I mean by be careful with dual attacks. So I wanted to hit her to CR push Hades. Or CR push, yeah, CR push her past the Hades so we could cleanse off the blinds there. That was very, very close though. And now I'm just trying to look at some positions on the CR bar. We're gonna do this. And I think we're in pretty solid position. I'm gonna stun this guy again, just because it's a bit annoying if you don't do that. Let's get the barrier up. And let's move into the below 50% HP phase. So here, you can see he's below 50% HP. He's got the bomb on him. If he takes his turn, he also CR pushed all the way up here. If he takes his turn, you're dead. And he's also immune to all damage. That's why I stunned him again, because it's kind of annoying if he just instantly takes his turn. A bit less annoying if you have the necessary Hades F-res, which I don't. But hit him 6 times. We're going to do 1. And Commander... Okay. Commander Rhianna has 30% dual attack. Obviously, you don't want to rely on it. But odds are she's going to dual attack. You get Soulburn S3, for example, but we spent a lot of time farming souls for Xeno, and we're going to use them. So with that RNG, if we Soulburn Commander Rhianna S3 and then S1, it would have been at 5. 1 hit would have been enough. But you can also see, like, there could be rotations where you just don't end up with a good tuning there, in which case, 80 souls, that's 5 hits with just Xeno. You would only need 1 other person to attack, and you would be good. And thankfully, he's still paralyzed there. That's why I left him like that. And now you just finish out the fight. Let's Soulburn. We do not have to be so, like, frugal with our souls anymore. We can just start dumping them, because there's no more mechanics anymore. It's just the same fight as always. We probably do actually want to kill this guy, though. I completely forgot about him. I do not think my Commander Rhianna cuts here. Do you think she'll dual attack, though? It does not look like she wants to dual attack. Oh, that's a Hades. I'm gonna put up the barrier here because we're gonna have to tank quite a bit of damage here, I think. Well, that is what happens when he does take his turn. It's AoE, sleep, plus erosion. Kind of annoying. So yeah, don't let him take his turn. I completely forgot to kill him. Now we can kill him. That was close. We almost lost for no reason there. And okay, I'm looking at the time. This took a really, really long time. That's just because we're doing, like, pretty much the bare minimum team. You could also just kind of, like... You could probably face tank the bomb, honestly, if you use the bruiser, like Fene, or... I'm trying to think who else would be good here. I don't know, but let's just say Fene would probably be able to just face tank the bomb without much problem. She would also revive or something. But this is the pretty much baby way to do it. Just about anybody can do it with this, with all these free units slash... I think a case is the only really non-free unit. And we do have to cycle around one more time. I wonder if I would have killed with S3 into S1. Oh. Okay, we're finally free from this fight. Jesus, that took forever. On to this one. This one, relatively similar. We're forced to use RNL for this one on the Ace fight. We'll be using Adventurer Ross instead. For Adventurer Ross, let's give him Arius, and then about 230 speed. The boss does not have much Ephras, you don't really have to worry about that. And then give him some HP. The Commander Lorena stats is pretty much the same. It's just Destro Pen. Not super well geared. Higher damage would be nice. Damage boosting artifact. And then Katie, same as before, about 230 speed, some HP. Magaraha's Tome. Oh, Jesus. So, this fight, the mechanics kind of boil down to let's keep these ads alive, but low HP. And then later, we're going to kill them after the boss starts its mechanic. We're going to do this into her. Reduce her cooldown. Hit here once. And then now we can swap back. So here, the boss has a mechanic where every time you take an extra turn, the level will go up. The way to do that is, of course, RNL can do it herself pretty well. You also have, like, Commander Lorena as an option for stacking it. We're going to let Commander Lorena hit naturally here, and then Hitting this one, we should be able to kill it. Oh, dual attack. Now we can soul burn into the boss. This will strip its buffs and also death break it. And then I'm going to S3. This will probably kill the other ad. Yep, kills the other one. And now we can hit it one more time. Okay, well, there's another dual attack. She would have taken her turn anyways. We can soul burn this. This gets it up to 5 stacks. And I actually ran out of souls, but it's fine. I had Wrath on Arius, but something like Genesis Frost Artifact would also work pretty nicely. It's just because of that extra damage splash. I think the Arius is pretty nice to have. Okay, yeah, I was contemplating hitting the ads, but it would have been pretty dicey if we had a dual attack there. Nice. I was kind of hoping that wouldn't kill both of them, and it ended up working out pretty well. So now we can hit this guy once. It's our extra turn. Yep, nice and simple. What is this? Oh. Okay, cool. I didn't even notice there was an artifact there. But yeah, that is the free-to-play setups for clearing out everything. This should be able to get you all the rewards. I don't think the gear is that hard to get on the characters. And the mechanics, I think I've explained decently enough, I hope. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments.